Win back screaming words, hope you like the absurd. It's a dab of salt.
Welcome to A Dab of Salt, a name that we came up with 2 weeks ago. My name is Percy.
I'm Brad.
I'm not Brad.
Well, not Brad, me. This is the show. I'm really proud of myself because for the last 3 podcasts, I 100% forgot that you're supposed to introduce yourself. So I would just begin talking like people know who I am.
That's like 3 hours worth of you forgetting to
4 hours, 4.5 hours worth of us.
Well, good philosophy. Catch up or get out.
Yeah.
Let's say unedited.
It's true.
Unedited is like 4 hours or so. Maybe more.
It'd be 4.5 hours, bro.
Imagine.
Possibilities. Okay, so, does anyone have any topics to bring to the table?
I do, but what are your guys's?
I'm gonna level with you guys.
Did you not come with topics?
I'm gonna level with you guys.
You fucking dude!
I'm here to facilitate a conversation.
That's not. You're here to. You provide the equipment, and it's the fucking Chris and Brad show.
Oh!
God damn it!
I can still ask things. I do want to bring up. There was a very lively Harry Potter conversation that we had that I definitely want to revisit.
Should we talk about that here?
I absolutely want to.
Do you think people will be cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a long conversation, but I want to know what you say.
We will do it after other topics.
Yeah, so there's that. I want to ask you, not Brad, i.e. Chris, you went to Disneyland during the 4th of the May. May the 4th. Fuck.
Good job.
Yes, and actually got our picture taken with Darth Vader.
I saw that.
And
was it awesome? Or was it weird? Because it was Darth Vader and you're adults.
Well, if you can't tell in the photo, we're about 2 feet away from Vader.
Yes.
Which apparently they like them to be in character, though that's bullshit, because I saw the Boba Fett line, and he was posing with people, putting his arm around them. So, like, an actual photo op.
Yeah.
Where
he should have actually shot someone in the head.
Yeah, where, like, the Vader one,
they
made us stand in this little hallway for a second that had, like, the mood lighting.
Yeah.
So it was, like, the red light to, like, kind of, I guess, symbolize the Empire.
Yeah.
And then one of the douchey guys that helps facilitate the photos came out and said, tried to pretend like he was Imperial. Welcome to the Imperial Station. Blah, blah. Can I see your credentials? Which he just wanted our fucking photo pass. Like, look, we can... I appreciate the gallantry of it all, but let's face it, we're here to get a photo. You ain't got to live that up a little bit. You can just walk out and go, hey, you got your photo pass? All right, you want to come on through? Smile, wave, usher us through, get us the fuck out of there. But no, he made us stand there, ask stupid questions. And then as we were asking questions, Vader came around the corner. And then you can tell that he had to click his belt to get like one of the sound effects to click on. So that means that they have canned responses set because he had to click it so that it would be the Vader voice. Because clearly, whoever was in the costume wasn't going to be able to pull off the Vader voice.
So there's no, like, voice-changing thing?
No.
I imagine that would also sound really bad.
That was a toy in the 90s. I don't know how they don't have it at Disney.
Or a terrible toy.
Or, if it was, that's a horrible placement for the voice modulator. You should just be able to turn it on. Like, he should have said, make them stand outside. I will turn on the voice modulator and then come around the corner.
Yeah.
Not come around the corner and click it. I've been around enough stormtroopers that dress up. That know that with like when they say all of their catchphrases, it's all like canned phrases. They just click a little button and it just says it. And he kept clicking his belt for the things, but he was like, "Oh, we'll see you now." Like come like all these things that make us come in. One of the douchey guys had to say like, "Well, stand there," because obviously Vader can't talk.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of stood off to the side, and then he said some bullshit. Like as he was talking, I was just looking at him like, you're phony as all hell, and you're trying to maintain this, but he's acting like he wants to be Vader.
Was it only the two of you? Was it only like you and Mom? Was it like you and Mom and a bunch of grown-ass adults with Darth Vader trying to be like, we're trying to keep this flame alive?
It was me, your mom, the photographer, and then this guy that was assigned to Darth Vader with Darth Vader. So it's just the 4 of us in this maybe 10 by 10 room, and he's trying to put on a performance of Vader without the powers. The photographer is just keeping his mouth quiet and has the camera. And so your mom and I are just like, waiting for him to be like, you can stand here, you can do this, emote this direction.
Yeah.
But he's just standing there, and then he goes in this weird, I don't even know what the fuck he said. Because I just stared at him like, this is the fucking stupidest and awkwardest thing I've ever been in.
It's way to play up like the Disney magic for people who are in their 40s.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you don't have to. you can stop. Like,
And-
you can tell me where to, like, it won't break immersion. Like, I won't be scarred for life if you're like, hey, stand here for the picture.
And maybe I'm jaded
Hi,
because
I'm Darth Vader. Can you,
because I've been around enough cosplayers
Oh,
and
yeah.
501st and people. I've been around other Vaders, Emperors,
people.
Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You know, like, I get what you're doing.
Well,
Yeah.
the only thing I think about when I think of, like, Disney costumes, I remember we went to
Lord?
Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland,
Okay.
and I was real fucking stoked. It must have been 3
I thought
or
you
4
were-
years ago. It was a while
I
ago.
straight up thought you were
Yeah,
about
3 years
Probably
ago.
about 3 years
I
ago.
straight up thought you were about to be like, and I was so stoned.
No, as though. So we go there and we take a picture with Thor, and it's kind of the same way where they like lead you into a room, they try and put on a big show of like, oh, you're about to meet Thor. Here, look at this like Loki headpiece. And I remember standing in that room, and there were a bunch of children behind me, and I farted on one of them.
Oh, I will fully come to that. If I have gas, I'm polite and I hold it in. Until shitty kid comes walking around.
Yeah!
And I'm like, if you're gonna walk and almost put your face in my ass, then I'm gonna fart and get you out of my ass.
It was so
So
it felt
if you're a
wonderful.
parent with a child at Disneyland 4 years ago and your child got Giardia for no reason, now you probably know why. Because
Your child came home with pink eye.
if you have a shitty kid that got like a disease, then someone probably just farted on your kid.
It was probably
Yeah.
me.
If you ever go to Disney and your kid always goes, man, it always stinks at Disney. It's because your kid and you are douchebags and I fart in your general direction.
Exactly.
Oh my-
you
I
are,
did that
you
as a
are on
mascot.
adult ass range.
Yeah.
We will blast you.
I wonder
Your
if
parents are
the
cute.
mascots have to do that to people.
They can't do that. They would literally hotbox themselves.
I know.
In their own
I'm sure they hold it in. So, like, I don't want to be trapped in here.
Yeah.
This Goofy starts screaming.
Well, my guess he'd pull off his mask, and it would be like a
he
fucking
has to stay in
bomb.
character. He would just be baked inside.
Yeah, but when
screaming.
he finally breaks the seal on his casket
Oh my god.
in the back halls, he'd just be letting out a hot, like baked fart that's been stuck in there forever.
I
What
just-
if he was like so dedicated he had to stay in character while screaming? So he was like, "Whoa!" like in his mask, but he had to scream like Goofy. Like he really needed this job.
He'd be like, "Where's my wife, Max?" Start screaming into his head. I think the moral of the story was I farted in a kid's face and then saw Thor, and he was really shitty because he was like,
How was he shitty? Yeah.
okay, so he was like, I don't know, let's say like 6 feet, 6'1". That's fine. He had long hair. It was a pretty decent hair.
Okay.
His facial hair was like a goatee. I could tell that the fucking spirit glue was popping off that shit. That's a little rough. They had him in like a padded buff man shirt, but he was really lanky, so it was like
Loose muscles.
it was bad.
It
I was like,
it was like
"Bruh."
Halloween.
Yeah.
I feel like I more blame Disney for that.
And he was like, "Hi guys, I'm Thor."
But that's
You're like,
that's
"Whoa,
so weird to me that
buddy."
they get like a lanky dude in a buff suit when like you have like that really famous Gaston from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Who like would do like push up like matches
Yeah,
with people.
but I've seen the
like,
Gaston they have running around now. It's like toilet paper stuffed into the arms to give him
Yeah.
muscles.
Oh.
And, well, I mean, at least they make him look fake to begin with.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
They give him like almost like a plasticky
So they
hair,
don't try to
coif.
fool you.
No,
Yeah.
like they over exaggerate the almost cartooniness of him. So
Yeah.
you're like, okay, it's fine that he's got toilet paper stuffed in his pants for calves and in his biceps because they've already made him this over exaggerated fake
Yeah.
character.
I feel like it's hard to like get people to like apply to be Gaston because like I think it's like from what I've heard like one of the best mascots they had was like that particular one.
Yeah.
Fun fact that's not so fun. Apparently he died,
What?
and that's why he wasn't Gaston.
Nobody
anymore.
dies like Gaston?
Oh, hey, too
a
soon.
lot of fucking people. do.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what I think he died from something. As in like.
Most people die from
Well,
something.
I mean, like he wasn't fucking mugged or shot or something or hit by a car. It's not like he died from something internal, like, which is really sad because apparently like everyone fucking loved him.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing him on like fucking Tumblr and shit. That's really weird. And
Because he would like
also
do
sad.
he would like beat like Marines to like push up
Yeah.
contests and stuff. Like he seemed really cool.
That's really sad.
Also, fun fact: do you know? I guess who the hardest cast member to be is Peter Pan because they're constantly replacing him because he has to look super young.
Oh.
So like that's the one they replace.
and he can't be.
Yeah, that's the one they have to replace the
Oh,
most.
that's
So
weird.
Peter Pan is like Menudo?
Yeah,
Fuck Menudo.
he's fucking face Shatter McGee. Like
Back in the old timey days, Menudo was a band from Mexico, and all the members were like 16 and younger, and the moment you hit 16, they replaced you with somebody new.
What the fuck?
I knew that Menudo was a thing. I didn't know that they, like, cycled through Mexican children. Like, some sort of...
They did.
But yeah, that's... So, like, being Peter Pan's sort of hard, because, like, if
That's
you get
really-
that job,
really sad.
you know it's extremely temporary.
Yeah, you go from Peter Pan to Gaston.
They put you as, like, Frollo, like, as soon as you're done with being Peter Pan. Which I really wish... I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World, because I'm, depressed.
Because I'm depressed.
I
is what I was
I was gonna say, like, they have, like, a mascot suit Frollo, I think, there.
Yeah.
I want them to get just, like, a really actually creepy old man.
Like the
Just
guy who
like-
played General Tarkin. Tarkin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been a fucking amazing Frollo. He looked like a corpse
Just
when
like-
he was alive.
Just, like, get, like, a CG hologram of, like, a haunted-looking man.
Tarkin.
And
Just give him a fucking
and just
hat.
lust after, like, the dark women
Well,
guests.
I think Peter Cushing,
Whoa!
Peter Cushing, I think, looked that way even when he was younger. Like, that was just him.
He's had, like, a sunken ghoul face.
Yeah.
Didn't he do a lot of Shakespeare shit?
He did.
He looks like someone who would have done Shakespeare.
Was he fucking, like, Hamlet's dad ghost?
Was he actually Shakespeare?
Did he play?
Is he William
I think
Shakespeare?
did he play Van Helsing? One of them.
Oh, I can see that.
What
Weird.
old timey, like 50s movies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That was a lot of the actors in Star Wars were like big deals in England when
Wasn't
they
it-
did the movie.
Kenobi, Ben, right?
Sir
The only
Alec
man.
Guinness.
Yeah.
He was actually
the one who wasn't Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was knighted and did that movie.
Damn.
So
What a nerd.
There's a lot of knighted people in movies.
yeah, I remember
Like-
as a kid growing up, I was like,
Yeah, like
oh
Sir
man,
Isaac Newton.
somebody being a sir was like an awesome thing. And as I'm getting older, I'm like, I think they knight like a handful of people every single year.
Yeah,
So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, so that's no longer like to me, I thought it was like extremely special. Like you had to do
Yeah.
something extraordinary to get knighted. And now it's
an
like,
achievement.
every 5 years they got to come up with a new batch of people to be knighted. It's like,
Scrape
this
the
person.
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. Do you know why?
Sir Johnny Depp.
Do you know why he's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle?
Because he did a lot of drugs.
No,
Oh, fuck.
but close. You're not. But like, because if for those of you who don't know from the name, he is the creator of Sherlock Holmes, and he killed off Sherlock because he hated Sherlock Holmes, and so like he killed him off because he's like, I want to be fucking done with him. But his biggest fan was the Queen of England, who said, if you bring him back, I'll fucking knight you. And if you want to know what he did, his name is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So you see the choice he made.
Done and done.
And that's why there's a Sherlock book after the Reichenbach fall.
That makes me laugh and also makes me just think of, like, fucking Benedict Cumberbatch coming back for, like, what is it, season 4 or season 3 or whatever.
I think
we see Sherlock.
Which
is the one where he died and then came back.
I think season 4 just ended.
Okay, then he came back for season 3. I just imagine, like, fucking Doyle just rolling in his grave, screaming.
Let him die.
Like, not only did you bring back Sherlock, he's a gray alien.
That's the sad thing. Like, I really don't mind Benedict Cumberbatch. It's just like, it's a lot of things I like. It's the fan base for him that I don't understand.
He has no chin.
That is the
He just
thing.
nose to neck.
It's a mouth that goes into a clavicle, but like.
Like if he were to just retract his head like back, like in astonishment or something, he'd become a toe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like,
Horrifying.
man, he does some good stuff. It's just, I don't understand his following, because his following, I understand if they're like, oh, his work is great. That's not where a lot of his followers' heads are at. They're like, he's the fucking hottest thing since the goddamn sun. And I'm like, alright, to each their own, but like...
He looks like a single starfish tentacle. Just one.
It's like, man, fucking Smaug is probably like the best animated dragon ever made.
Yeah.
Fucking, he was phenomenal.
A Saphira from Aragorn.
What the fuck?
Oh, fuck. Hold on, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have... Our roommate is about to appear at the Who, so we're not going to help them open the door. So...
What if they're locked out and they text us like, hey, I'm locked out?
Oh, there they go.
Are they locked?
No, they're not.
I don't think the door's locked.
The door wasn't locked, dipshit.
I couldn't find. I tried. It wasn't locked.
It wasn't
No.
locked, you stupid fool.
You said weak hands.
You fucking... So that was our roommate. They
Why are you
don't
wearing
understand
a jacket and a
doors.
scarf on the
It's
walk?
cold.
Is it cold?
It's
Where?
actually chilly outside.
Oh.
If you're dead...
Yeah.
I am inside.
Good.
Are you pregnant from the Lord?
Yeah, because you know that Lord babies eat your blood and that makes you cold. Where the fuck was the logic in that, Brad?
It's like when you're pregnant, you feel temperatures more weird.
More weird.
Okay, well, now that we're off the pregnancy bench,
Alright,
so
that was Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
Was it cool? Was it cool? Was there anything else cool that was going on there?
Surprisingly, they didn't really do much for
The fuck?
May the 4th. So that was disappointing. There wasn't like a big event. I mean, the normal attractions that were Star Wars were the normal attractions. There was nothing like, we're doing a May the 4th celebration. We're doing a special cup. We're doing... No. There you go. Just same old crap. It's just May the 4th today. There's a lot of people in costume, which was awesome.
That's
a lot of like guests and everything else were all wearing
Like
costumes.
Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they allowed?
I said I didn't know they were allowed to wear costumes.
Yeah. A lot of it was kids. Well, I mean,
Okay.
remember, you're
All of them
only
rainbows.
allowed to wear a costume until you start taking photos.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's a problem unless you're really, your costume's really good, because then they don't want people to think you actually work for them.
Like
Yeah.
cosplay.
But when a little girl is dressed as Rey, they don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
When a
Makes
40-year-old is dressed as Rey, they care.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like, I remember, like, I think it was like 2007, 2008, this 3-person group of Kingdom Hearts cosplayers
God.
went to Disneyland, and people flipped out because, like, oh my god, Sora, Riku Roxas, like, took pictures, and they got kicked out.
yeah, see,
Like,
if you
yeah.
take a picture, you're going to get out, because we saw somebody dressed as Sora when we were in line for Pirates.
Oh, nice.
Like full everything. Even had a side pouch.
What
on,
the fuck?
That's
everything.
cool.
And I was
Did
like,
they have the hair?
their hair was clearly they didn't look like the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
But their hair. I mean, they did.
Well, it's
they
because they
clearly
were just
dressed
like
up that
in
day.
the costume, but they didn't have like the makeup and the hair.
They
shit
clearly
can get
tried.
away.
Yeah.
But it was hot that day.
So it was a
That's
melting
rough.
Sora.
Yeah,
but
I
we had noticed that, and I was like, wait a minute, isn't that a Disney character? How did that? And it was an
Yeah.
adult. So
Yeah.
I was like, how did they get through the line? At least I can see
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
Because they're going, nobody thinks these kids are the actual characters,
Well,
but an adult. But then I was like,
yeah.
I think Disney has to care about the characters. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not a true, like, iconic Disney character.
Well, that and like
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
the Kingdom Hearts games that people actually fucking played came out like 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Well, yeah,
right?
this was like 2007, 2008, so
I
it
was
was
gonna
like it was like a year or two after Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh my god!
When
I
like
can't believe
Kingdom
it's
Hearts was
fucking,
in
like,
full
10
fucking
years.
swing.
Well, you can't really say that because, like, Snow White came out in, like, what, the 30s, 40s, some old-timey crap.
Yeah, real 30s
They
kids
never made a
remember.
new or updated version of it. So,
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
that's
they did with-
still a worshipped character to
They did.
them.
They
Yeah,
did with
but-
Kristen Stewart and Chris Hemsworth in that one war movie.
fucking
About Snow
stop!
White. That
Stop!
was real bad.
Stop!
That movie was real bad.
Stop! I love Chris Hemsworth.
I love Kristen Stewart.
What?
What? Do you guys not like Kristen Stewart?
I don't mind her,
Dead
but I
face?
wouldn't.
That's the thing. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is gonna be one of my topics now. Kristen Stewart. I'm gonna fucking defend Kristen Stewart. Here we go.
Go for
The
it.
thing is that it's the fucking Johnny Depp problem, except without beating your fucking wife. Fuck Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Sponsored by the Association Against Johnny Depp. But
Yeah.
like it's the whole thing where it's like a lot of his characters, people are like, oh, that's Jack Sparrow. Because, like, people hire Johnny Depp, they're like, we want the Jack Sparrow guy.
Yeah.
And so, with, like, Kristen Stewart, they're like, we want the Bella girl. And so, like, in Snow White, it was Bella. That's
Yeah.
all it was. But have you ever seen The Runaways, the movie?
No.
It's a movie about the Runaways, and, Kristen Stewart was Joan Jett
The
in that movie.
comics?
No.
No.
The band. They
The
did
band,
Cherry...
The Runaways.
they did Cherry
were
Bomb?
in the late...
like-
I want to say late...
Late 70s, I think.
Yeah, like happy late 70s. I was about to say late 60s, but no, they were all too young at that point.
For everyone
Yeah.
who's listening, I'm looking at you guys with a real blank ass face right
You
now.
would know their songs
Yeah.
if you heard them.
Yeah, it was
And
like...
then the members of the band, you would know one of them.
Yeah. It was
Um,
Joan Jett.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, Kristen Stewart played fucking Joan Jett in that.
Yeah.
And she was awesome. Like, there was this scene where, like, everyone's freaking out, and she's freaking out the most. She's, like, getting up on a table. She's throwing, like, chairs at windows, and, like, screaming, like, fuck you, like, flipping everybody off. And I was watching this. This is, like, I'm watching this post-Twilight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, I watched some of her other movies, and I'm like, she's actually pretty fucking decent. Like,
Yeah.
I like her.
I
And I watched, like, Twilight, and I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But, like...
Well, I do feel bad. I do think that she definitely was typecast, and I think
Yeah.
that is kind of like the terrible, terrible curse of being in a popular movie. Because, I mean, Mark Hamill kind of, like, suffered from that. That's when he went and did, like, voice acting and shit.
Yeah, that's why he wouldn't do stuff.
anything.
Elijah Wood. I mean, like, I imagine people who, like, get those big-ass name characters, and then that's who you are. Fucking poor Daniel Radcliffe, who is I say that, he's done a good-ass fucking job.
He's
did
done
this
awesome
Shakespeare stuff. He's fucking rad.
Well, he's great, but let's face it, anytime you saw Daniel Radcliffe, the first thing you're going to think is there's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually getting better with that now. Like, I don't think that every time I see him, I think more Daniel Radcliffe more than Harry Potter now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that I get reminded that he was Harry Potter, but, like, the mental tick of, like, oh, yeah. Like, that kind of goes into my head. I've seen a bunch of stuff.
I think it also depends on the person.
Yeah.
A person can do a very large role.
Yeah.
And globally be recognized for that role.
Yeah.
But then still accomplish other things and acknowledge that role but move forward.
Yeah.
Some actors never accomplish anything as good ever again.
Yeah.
Like, when he went and did theater, he got high praise for his theater performances.
Awesome. Yeah.
So people were like, oh, clearly he wasn't just a guy that was in the Harry Potter films that everyone loves because Harry Potter. Yeah. He can actually act.
Yeah.
So that's good. So he knew what he needed to do to establish himself outside of a giant franchise.
Yeah.
Some people just do a franchise and they're like, this franchise will carry me to other great things. And then all they ever are is that franchise.
Like that kid who played Boba Fett in the prequels. The Boba Fett child.
Logan?
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Logan's like, hey, I'm a kid. People love me, give me weed, and let me have sex with them. So
what the fuck? That was a thing?
Oh, story time!
What the?
I don't want to put Daniel Logan's business out there.
Well, like the tiny Boba Fett from like episode 2.
Yeah. Well, if he's meant to fucking
Cradle my dad's head.
Yeah, I know that. What the fuck?
I only ever knew him from that.
Did you?
Clearly,
Did
I
you
was
meet
a Boba. Yeah, I was a Boba Fett fan, and hence also a Jango Fett fan. So I love that. Tamir Morrison, awesome individual. Yeah. He's the one who played Jango.
Okay.
So when I was at Celebration 4, 1997. No, 2007. Sorry, let's not go back that
1997.
far. 2007.
Shit, fuck.
Walking around, Daniel Logan had a booth, and it's a picture of the little kid.
Oh.
Well, next to that booth was 4 girls, and I call them girls because they had to have ranged anywhere from 15 to maybe 19.
Were they booth girls, or were the lines for them?
No, these were just people at the con, and they were just standing off to the side. There was no line at down. There was nobody behind the booth for Daniel Logan. Like, the big picture was up there. I got there pretty early that day.
So they were attendees?
Yes, they were attendees.
Okay.
And I walked down what was, at the time, Autograph Hall, and at that time, nothing was going on in Star Wars. Okay. So, although there was a lot of people at the con, at that moment, there were not a lot of people in the Autograph Hall section, but there were already a lot of the actors there. So they had these big, giant pictures, those 8-foot pictures of themselves, and then their table in front of the picture. Well, his picture was of that young Daniel Logan. Yeah. But then off to this, probably about 5 feet away from the table, so there's nobody at the table. 5 feet away from these 4 girls. And they're talking to this, had to have been maybe a 5', 5'2" guy. And he's talking about, oh, yeah, like, you guys should really come hang out, and you can go to, like, you guys want to come to, like, we can even hang out and go to the pool, we can do all these kind of things. And I was like, wow, like, this guy, these people are waiting, here's a young group of people waiting to see Daniel Logan. They probably grew up with him. Yeah. And I'm listening, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm doing this. And they're like, oh, my God, you're so awesome, you're so great, and everything else. And basically, they were humming on his nuts already. And then I'm standing there, and I'm like, fuck, that's actually Daniel Logan. Like, that's the little kid, no longer a little kid. He was, I don't know what his fucking age is, but probably 18 at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that. So he had grown up, but looked exactly the same, just taller.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So he's gone from, because he hadn't, as far as I knew, he didn't do shit after that movie, except for just get older. Yeah. And so he's clearly banking on it. And I was like, wow. And he's trying to get laid right now. It was day 1 of the con. And he's like, I'm just setting this shit up. Okay. And then fast forward about 2 years later, and there's a con here, and they got Daniel Logan.
Yeah.
Well, there was someone in our Star Wars group that was like, oh, yeah, we should really hang out with them. We ended up taking Daniel Logan, his dad, Peter Mayhew, his wife.
Chewbacca.
His wife, It was...
Who'd he play?
He was the voice of all the droids. He was General Grievous. He does
cool.
Our Star Wars group at the time, we took them all out to dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Daniel Logan was a drunk. Loved to drink as much as he possibly could get. His dad was a child star manager dad. So he was like, give him anything he wants.
Like a dance mom?
Yes. And there was one guy in our Star Wars group who, I'll politely say, smoked weed every once in a while.
Was a peruser of that sweet day kush.
You know, that famous Snoop Dogg song, Smoke Weed Every Once in a While.
So, he actually picked Daniel Logan up from the airport.
Okay.
And he must have sampled before he picked up Daniel Logan. So the smell was intoxicating, and he shared. And from what... These are all just stories, allegedly, whatever. Every time Daniel Logan comes into town, he calls that one guy, they hook up, and they smoke weed together all the time. Supposedly, Daniel Logan has now, according to his Instagrams, Twitters, Facebooks, and everything else, he's clean now. He doesn't drink as much, doesn't do anything else, because he's trying to work for Disney again.
Good
because
for him.
He wants. They wanted to do the Boba Fett spin-off. They wanted to do the cartoon series.
They want him to do it?
Yeah, he did the voice for the animated series for Clone
fun.
Wars for Boba Fett in there.
Oh, really?
He did the voice for it.
That's cool.
So he's working with Disney now.
Good for
So
him. Okay.
he's cleaned up.
Yeah, okay.
But at the time, he was cleaning up.
It was,
like,
he was a
like
dirty bird.
debauchery.
Yeah, he was pretty much, from what I gathered, he was all about getting high and getting laid. And using his fame for as much as it could take him for. So...
well, shit. I mean, good for him, I guess? Live it up. And I mean, good for him for getting jobs again.
If I was 18 and people were paying me to go to a con, I'd card too, but...
I don't think I'd get high and fuck people, but, like, I definitely buy, like, my own, like, Slurpee machine. If I was stupid rich.
Well, I think he fell into the
Don't give me that look.
I'm giving you a real hard look right now.
I think he fell into the child actor quota part.
Yeah, but being a child actor is hard.
Well, and you can be a child actor and still not do that, but when your parents are like, you're the star and you're the breadwinner in this family, and I make money if you make money, you will whore yourself out as much as possible, and I'll never tell you no, because I need to keep you from ever getting a real agent. And getting rid of me. That's what...
We can surmise.
I don't want to say that's just what it seemed like his father did a lot.
Yeah, well, and that's not the first time that's like that. And that's happened with like child actors and stuff.
Yeah. And that could have greatly changed by now. Daniel, as far as I can tell, seems to be completely different than when I had met him at that time. We had pictures of us all the time.
I was there. Yeah, I remember. I must have been like 2. I didn't. But I was like, okay, whatever. I was more excited that we were
sitting
Chewbacca.
right next to Chewbacca the entire time.
I thought that's why I remember.
He blew pot smoke in your face as a baby.
Yeah, yes.
And that's why
I
you're
was
gay.
2 years old, yes.
Pot makes you gay. Sponsored by California.
Tim Wood. Oh, gosh, I'm going to be so mad now that I remember. He was going to stay with us at our house. Because
why didn't he? It just wasn't enough of a
They were
party.
trying to arrange, because obviously the con at the time wasn't making a shit ton of money. It was that like sci-fi con or whatever. They weren't making a ton of money.
Got it.
Just so you guys know, Chris just made the stars motion with his hands, like in parentheses, like a dick. I just think everyone really needed to know.
One at a time. It's like people are clawing at the door to get the guy who voiced General Grievous to come to Sacramento.
If they got actual General Grievous, like a fucking puppet, I think I'd be way more down for
and
that.
Horrified.
Dude, can I tell you how hyped I was for General Grievous when I first saw him?
Well, he was awesome, but a puppet of General Grievous being controlled by, like, one guy in, like, a black Sentai suit sounds really creepy.
But, like, 8 people who, like, fucking hold up, like, different limbs of his body, and he's voiced by, like, Daniel Radcliffe, and that'd be cool.
That sounds like a miserable hellscape of an experience.
Yeah,
but
they were trying to find places for these guys to stay.
Yeah.
And they were trying to make it as, I guess, cheap as possible.
Yeah.
At the time, we had it was the 2-story house in West Sac that we had.
Yeah.
So it was
that 2 stories?
Yeah.
Shit.
So, well, remember, we had the 2-story one, and then we moved to the 1-story.
The 1-story one, yeah.
But at the time, we had plenty of space and everything else, and we were asked, if he's willing, would you guys be willing to put him up? And we were like, sure. Well, I'm pretty sure when they told him, do you want to stay at a fan group's house? He went, fuck no.
Yeah.
But nicely, no.
Yeah.
No, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I hold nothing against him. I would have said no.
Yeah.
I probably would have said no too, just on the basis of the fact that I want to fucking stay at some random creep's house.
Yeah, I don't know who you are.
Especially not Star Wars fans. If you met them, they're all nerds.
You're gonna say someone fucking just like cuts off a lock of your hair in your sleep.
Yeah.
And then you have to see fucking parts of you on eBay.
Yeah. Then they start growing a homunculus.
Like General Grievous's kidney.
Yeah. Grown from his hair. So, well, shit, man. I kind of wanna steer this a little to the left, but only kind of, because we're still talking about stars. I say stars. Dumbledore, he's a star in my heart.
Okay.
I kind of want to have this Dumbledore conversation. Brad.
Okay. Well, it's a little hard, because, like, since we talked about it, I've, like, changed, like, my view a little bit.
I want to know, Chris.
Okay.
I want to know what you say. So,
do you want me to present
Brad,
the original argument?
Yes, present the original argument. Brad, present both sides.
Alright, yeah. Alright, so here's what the argument was, and I'll say how I've changed my mind a little bit. So, Dumbledore, you know him. He's the wizard. He's like Merlin, only, like...
Gayer.
I was like, only gay and eats
You
candy.
don't know what Merlin did.
You don't. He fucking...
Did he just fuck off to Avalon?
No, I was about to make, like,
What happened to him? No, I mean...
No, I was about to make, like, a super inappropriate joke about that, but, yeah, no. Anyway, fucking
What was the inappropriate joke?
What? Fucking, I was gonna be like, yeah, he's super gay, he fucking sat on the sword in the stone before someone picked it up.
That's not nearly as inappropriate as...
I feel like fucking sticking that handle of a sword up your ass is kinda gay!
Well, it's gay, but what? Why is that inappropriate?
Well, let's stop it right there. What makes it gay?
Yeah, Brad.
Why's
it gotta be
something
gay?
up your asshole!
That's not gay.
Doesn't
Just because you like
necessarily
butt stuff.
That doesn't necessarily make you gay.
Yeah, Brad. Come on. You're fucking supposed to be enlightened, you fucking cad.
I feel like if something goes up your butt, this is like, oh, it hits my prostate and it feels good and it's a dick. I'm gonna think,
Well,
what if he imagined it as a dick?
Well, if he's having gay sex with a sword, then I guess, yeah, it's gay. But if he's just like, I'm a straight guy, but I like butt stuff, I mean, that's okay.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's
fucking
fine.
discriminating against Merlin and his butt
Because the
stuff.
gayest thing I think for Merlin the fucking wizard to do is to sit on the sword.
Why are you
still.
assigning a sex to the sword?
Exactly.
No, I said Merlin
He
the
needs
gay
a lady
wizard.
sword, you dick.
I haven't fucking done a full-on exam of the sword asking how it identifies.
Well, look, the gayest thing he could have shoved up his butt is his wand. Continue about
How
it.
was the wand the gay thing? Why is it gayer than the sword?
Because wizards are gay, i.e. Dumbledore. Continue with this story.
I think that we found a new debate. But anyway.
Yeah, what's gayer, swords or wands?
That's a lot of neckbeards to be like, swords, I'm never touching a wand again.
I only play warriors.
Yeah, so the original argument I presented was aptly said, Dumbledore isn't gay. Which I know sounds not great. It's not like an erasure thing. The argument was, I don't like when someone finishes a series, they complain, they're like, oh, that character was gay, without actually doing the work that goes into, like, writing a character. They're just like, oh, that one was gay, didn't you know? Yeah. Or, like Percy presented, how, like, it's like, oh, that flamboyant one, yeah, he was the gay one.
Yeah.
How that's kind of, fucked up, too. And then, like, what it's changed to is that, like...
Well, I mean, like, the initial premise was that you didn't like how J.K. Rowling presented him as a gay character, right?
Yeah, it was like...
That you were like...
It was kind of just like... Like, there was no work, and, like, it could have been, like, just, like, a sentence. It didn't have to be anything he did.
Yeah.
Like, no one... There's no way to fucking act gay, except... fuck yourself in the butt and be like, this feels like a dick. That's like... And Dumbledore didn't have to do that.
Well, I mean, you
It'd
can
be
like
funny.
butt suck, say it feels like a dick and still be straight. You can say it feels like a dick.
Are you sure about that?
I am pretty sure about that.
I'm pretty sure...
You can say it feels
I'm pretty
like
sure
a
if
dick.
you like dick in your butt, it's a little gay.
If
which
you
is
like
fine.
specifically dick.
But see, you're saying that, but then you're saying that then in turn what? Then you have to identify as male to say.
Are we still on
it
if
feels
butt
like
sex
dick
makes
in
you
my butt?
gay?
Yes.
Yeah, Brad.
Because you're saying that if you say, hey, that feels like a dick in my butt and I enjoy it, I'm gay, what happens when...
Lesbians like butt stuff, Brad.
Or,
Are they suddenly gay?
Or just someone who identifies as...
That's not how that works!
Someone who
What the
identifies as
fuck
female
just came out of your
likes it.
mouth? That's not the same thing!
The point is, the reason.
I was just like, it could have been like a sentence. Fucking, he was talking to Harry about girls, and there's a whole debate of like, would that be a weird time to bring up that he's gay? But they're talking about relationships and shit, so I was like, could have been like, oh, you can, whatever. It's like, yeah.
As someone who didn't read the books,
Okay.
I don't know how much they actually touch on in the books, but even in the movies are the only thing I can base it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't really talk too much about Dumbledore himself.
Yeah.
Like, everything was always viewed through
Yeah.
Harry. And Harry's relationship. So even when Dumbledore had conversations with Harry, it was through Harry and his relationships, not Dumbledore. So there was the only opportunity they had to introduce Dumbledore's history was when the book about him was written, and they were saying like things about him, or when with Albus or the other one.
Grindelwald.
No, his brother. What was his brother's name?
Albuquerque.
No, I was like Albacore.
It was something like
Albert.
Aberforth.
I think it was Aberforth.
It wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Amberforth.
But when he
Amberforth.
said he didn't tell you much about his sister or anything like that,
You find out like after he dies,
Yeah.
other people's.
there would have been small opportunity at that point in time
Yeah.
to say like his longtime companion.
Yeah.
You could throw in slight verbiage like that, which would have been easier for her to tie back later.
Yeah.
Like him and Grimwald were always together at
Yeah.
this time, and then say, "Oh, I bet you like they." You could always hint about it later,
Yeah.
as opposed to absolutely nothing about his past, absolutely nothing about who he was, and then throw it on later.
Well,
But
see, that was the thing
I
that
want to say
we-
what
go for
changed
it.
into. It's like, so what the...
Well, I mean,
so
and
what the
we need to
debate-
talk about the fact that, like, we were going to bring this up, but we ended up talking about it yesterday, which is why it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to talk about, because we already kind of, like, discussed it a little bit.
Well, pretty much, like, at the end, it was kind of just, like... I guess, like, the biggest takeaway from it was, like, okay, like, Dumbledore could have been, like, actually mentioned to be gay or something, but then again, if it doesn't fit for him anywhere in the story, it could have been someone else.
Yeah.
If you want every gay character... Because there's a lot of downtime in those books.
Yeah.
Where everyone just kind of interacts with each other and they talk about their lives. Harry has a canonical wet dream about Ginny. It's fucking weird to read.
Really?
I
Oh,
mean,
man, I don't fucking remember that at all, Brad.
he used to sit in his bed thinking, like, man, Ron's sister...
He wakes up jerking off. Man, it was in, like, chapter
he
7.
fucking lays back in the bed. He's like, man, Ron's sister's fucking hot for some reason. It's out of nowhere. He's just, like, thinking, like, man, responsibility is hard. Oh, Ron's
You know what else is
sister.
hard? So...
Yeah. And so, it's pretty much like, yeah, if it didn't fit for Dumbledore, like, there's characters you could have... Actually, like, it could have actually fit into a conversation or context, because everybody's talking about themselves in the book. You know fucking people's family trees who don't matter in that series.
yeah,
for,
I
like,
think
run.
Dumbledore's would have been harder to hammer into there.
Yeah.
Because
Completely.
it really wasn't about him.
Yeah.
And I guess they're going to explore that now by introducing Grimwald.
Well,
and
They're gonna have to make him
others.
kiss Johnny Depp, and that's just mean.
Okay, you fucking stop, number one. Number two, so, like, the thing that I brought up, and the reason it kind of, like, changed into a discussion that went from, man, it's really shitty that J.K. Rowling had Dumbledore be gay and not ever mention it. For me, it was kind of like, and maybe this is weird, but I kind of like the idea that Dumbledore was never spoken about being gay, because it's like, his being gay had literally nothing to do with his character. And I kind of appreciate that as a gay person. I mean, like, my character revolves around being gay. I mean, like, legit. I mean, I try to act more heterosexual, and I catch myself being incredibly flamboyant, like, a fucking second later. Like, I actively try sometimes to be like, let's see how like, stereotypically dudely I can be, and I just fuck it up, because I start, like, I can't do it. So I'm like, man, it's kind of interesting to see a gay character that's, like, that's not what they're about, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's probably what her take was,
Mhm.
is what makes a gay character gay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what do you have to put stereotypical characteristics on somebody to say, like, there's your gay character? But
Mhm.
wouldn't you rather have a character who is,
Like,
through
actually,
all of,
yeah.
and I'm using bad terminology here,
Yeah.
but for all intents and purposes, is a completely normal character that nobody has any inference to, nobody has any, like, thoughts, plus or minus, about. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like that character because they're gay. I don't like that character because they're not gay. It's just, that character is a good character all the way through. Everybody likes the character. And then the end be like, oh, by the way, he was gay.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
That's real life.
Mhm.
You don't always know who is
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah.
And
And
so
I
I
also-
think that's an important part, but I think the misplay there
Mhm.
is to throw it when everything's done.
Yeah.
Because then
Well, it's like you get away with
it doesn't
being-
have the impact. Like people can't then
Yeah.
be watching the movies and say like, "There's a gay character that
Yeah.
I can relate to and is on the screen and everybody likes
Mhm.
Yeah.
and is enjoying it with me." Where now you have to watch it back again and go,
Yeah.
"Oh, now I like this character
Yeah.
because he's gay and he represents who I am."
Well, I had two takeaways from that. The first thing is, like, and I guess this doesn't have anything to do with, like, gay representation or anything, but, like, J.K. Rowling was also trying to contend with the fact that her books are being sold as fucking witchcraft. So I can't imagine being like, oh, and by the way, Dumbledore's gay. I feel like having a gay character in anything becomes political. I don't think I don't think it should be, but I think with society not being in a vacuum, it is.
Yeah.
I think it is a political statement to be like, this character is gay. And saying it in the story, suddenly people would be trying to, like, code his actions or stuff like that.
Especially the more popular a series of something.
Exactly,
becomes.
which I don't think is a bad thing, but I also feel like has to be treated very delicately. And she, as a straight person, which isn't a bad thing, you should write characters, you should write every kind of character. I can't imagine a time where that would be important to Dumbledore's character, because from like a writing perspective, every time you have someone gay come out, every time you have a trans character come out, anytime you have some sort of like outing, quote unquote, like that, it's always some sort of like discussion or discovery. You see someone's body, you have to talk about their feelings, you have to talk about their romances, and that has literally no place in what I see Dumbledore's character as, and I think that is like a storytelling thing.
And you had like an interesting solution to like that.
Yeah.
Which I believe, because like I don't think it's been mentioned on like the show yet, but like I write and I draw and stuff. Like I also combine it and I do comics.
Yeah.
And like I do try to incorporate like a bunch of types of character. And something I did notice that I was doing that you actually brought up as a solution to the Dumbledore thing is like, if you mention a character is gay, to normalize it, they shouldn't be the only gay character.
Yeah.
So, like, if there were other gay characters, bringing up Dumbledore being gay would have been more normal.
Yeah.
So, like, pretty much like if you're writing a story, you shouldn't really have tokens.
Yeah.
Because they stick out more, or sometimes they end up being, like, stereotypes. Well, which was my takeaway. It wasn't explicitly said, but I'm like, if you have just one gay character, one minority character, it's odd because, like, that does make it stick out and it makes it less normal.
Yeah.
So being that Dumbledore is the only canonically gay character that I know of in Harry Potter, I think that's why it gets talked about a lot, because he's
wouldn't Grimwald then qualify?
Grindelwald. Yeah, but he's not, like, really in the story.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, like, he's going to be.
Yeah. Well, he's going. I guess like the big thing is like, because it was only one gay character, or rather, the discussion that we were having ended up becoming less of a Dumbledore being gay was handled wrong, and more of the fact that there was only one gay character and that he was chosen as someone who has literally no connection to like the gay community, which I do think is kind of important when making a gay character. Like, I like the fact that he was, an everyman. Yeah. But I also think it's important that he has some level of community. So that's a problem.
Now, who was the black character in Gryffindor that dated Ginny?
I don't want to say it was Seamus Finnegan.
No, Seamus was
he
white.
have Hufflepuff?
Seamus was the flame.
God damn it! He was the one. He was Fred George.
Wait, give me a fucking second. I got this. Because there's not
the
a lot
only
of black
person
characters.
I can think of is Blaze. He's
That's
the
it.
only one I can think
There's
of.
Blaze. There's Shacklebolt, who's an Auror. And then what was his name? He had an awesome line in the third movie, too.
Yeah, I know. There's people...
Archibald.
If anybody's listening to this, they're screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
Archibald McDougal.
It would have been interesting had she said, like,
too.
He was gay, too.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main reasons why Ginny and him were, like,
didn't work.
Fighting or didn't work out. And that's what made her so sad, was because here's a relationship. She's trying to experience, like, a new relationship. And she's trying to get deeper in this relationship.
Yeah.
And he's withdrawing or not. Because he's finding out he's gay, and he can't deal with her, but she's trying not to out him, like, he's gay, but it's making her cry and sad. It would have made it sound less douchey than they're just always constantly fighting.
Yeah.
And
does it start with an F?
No. I have the last name in my head. I'm trying
What's
to think
the
of
last
person.
name?
Jordan. Lee Jordan!
There it is!
That's his fucking
there
name.
it is!
Okay.
But it would have been interesting. I know everybody was like, no, just make just make Draco gay.
Yeah.
And he was in love with Harry. That's why he hated Harry so much.
That's
what all the fan fiction people want. But... It would have made an interesting twist if, like you said, by introducing more gay characters, but characters that fit within the story.
Yeah.
You turn him gay all of a sudden, then it makes sense as to why there's a
Yeah.
fight here. It ties into main characters. It is a primary story within the story that you don't have to discuss.
Well, and then you don't have to worry about the idea of, like, representation. Because, again, if you only have, like, okay, I think that's why people are so worried about adding any sort of color into their story. So it's like, well, I have a single black guy in my entire character. Like, what kind of character does he have to be? What kind of person do I have to appeal to? Do I make him like this, or do I make him like this? Like,
Just make more of them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, literally just make more diverse people. Make them a
Like I
mix
said,
of everything.
I was thinking in
like,
here, I was like, yeah, there's any black people in Harry Potter, and then
There's
I was like, oh, yeah,
literally
there is.
three.
There's three.
Yeah, there's one more.
And weirdly, no gay students. And which is like, especially
Ron
especially
is
in a,
gay.
Especially in a boarding school. There's some fucking sword sitting on action going on.
Yeah, Merlin, Order of Merlin, 3rd class, 3rd ass more like, am I right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What is it? Gilderoy Lockhart, Order of Merlin, 3rd class, 4-time winner of the fucking ladies' charm.
Is that
smile
verbatim what
one.
they say?
Yeah, especially that last
Or the fucking, you know.
Thing with the what?
Just Dumbledore drunk on, like, the podium
That
reading
is
off his thing.
100% what?
No, just...
Oh, I thought you were introducing. That was his introduction.
No, just like Dumbledore, like, talking about Gilderoy Lockhart. He's like, he's the fucking, like, 3-time, like, triathlon winner. I don't care. I'm 120.
Which Weekly's Most Charming Smile Award. That's what it was.
Oh, Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, Godric Gryffindor.
What the fuck? They are completely
no,
different people.
it's like you said Gilderoy Lockhart, and my head was like Godric Gryffindor.
What? Which means you weren't... Okay, so you're telling me you weren't listening to me.
Do you know Gilderoy Lockhart wrote Thor? He's
He's like a good actor.
Yeah.
And like,
Kenneth
like
Branagh.
director.
Yeah. I bet
Great movies, great actor.
bet he fucking stole it, but like...
Whoa! He obliviated the real...
Yeah, he obliviated the
He's
original
been
writer.
married to the... See? I can't remember their names now.
Lee Jordan.
No. the seer teacher.
Professor Trelawney!
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his ex-wife.
That's cool.
Emma Thompson.
Really?
They were married for a long time.
That's fucking cool.
It's fucking weird. And to think now she's dating a centaur. Didn't she get with
No.
Frenzy? Am I wrong?
No, she fucking hated him.
Really?
Because he took her job.
Oh, maybe it was fanfiction. Anyways.
You know the best fanfiction? Can I list 2 good Harry Potter fanfictions to recommend? One of them is the...
I don't know.
One of them is the infamous Professor Snape and Teletubbies, where they don't know about...
I think you're gonna have to explain that, because I
Yeah.
don't think I know what that is.
you don't know
And I
about that
definitely
one?
don't.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's
What,
like...
Chris? You don't listen? You don't read fanfiction?
I bet if you Google, like, Snape Teletubby, it'll come up. But, like, the Teletubbies...
I bet you don't want it to.
Okay, so what's Teletubby Land missing?
A wizard?
Normal people?
Sex ed, right. So, they didn't know how it works, and Snape showed up there. I don't know why. Doesn't really matter at that point. Any explanation would be stupid. And so he's like...
Oh yeah, that would be the stupid
He's like,
part.
you guys don't know sex ed, and they're like, fucking, Tubby Custard,
Uh-oh.
and like, fucking fell over or something. And he's like, I must teach you. And he fucks all the Teletubbies, and it's super, super graphic. It's incredibly graphic.
Do they tell you whether or not the baby in the sky watched?
Stop.
Because if so, they have to arrest
That's
Professor
that's a
Snape.
crime. Are you telling me those Teletubbies are over 18 years old? What's the age of consent in Teletubby Land?
I don't know. I think they're mostly robot. They have TVs on their stomach.
Can I talk about the lesser known Harry Potter fanfiction that's worse, but like nobody fucking knows
My
it exists?
Immortal?
No, lesser known.
Okay,
I'm
you
pretty
know
sure-
about My Immortal though.
I'm pretty sure people know about My Immortal.
No. That's
Okay.
me shaking my head. No.
Well,
Okay, well we'll have
Yeah.
to. At some point maybe
But
we'll
maybe we
like.
should discuss the reasons why I should know or why I don't know, because I don't read fanfiction. And I don't care to.
I read-
think you're missing out on a beautiful
I
world.
read
There was a
bad
Mass
fanfiction.
Effect Sonic fanfiction, and it was the worst written thing I've ever read in my life. And I only read about 3 seconds of it, but it was really bad. Continue. What was that other one? Because I actually don't know what you're going to say.
Oh, I think I've told you the story. The other one is a Lucius Malfoy and Dobby fanfiction.
Dobby is the name of our Chihuahua, by the way.
Oh,
so the first thing that you
as
said, I was like, my dog?
Then as I described this, imagine your dog, because like...
Can you not describe it and give me the spark notes?
Yes, I will, because it's one of the best pieces of literature I've read, specifically for the reason why it was written. Which, the author doesn't say why they wrote it, but I could tell why they did. So...
Oh god, you have fucking told me this story.
Yeah, something happened, and, you know, it doesn't matter what happened. They end up fucking. Like, it's Lucius Malfoy fucking Dobby. And the way it's written, it's like this writer has, like, fucked a 1.5 tall person before. It's written so precisely and so graphically.
Brad, I said the fucking SparkNotes version. You're giving me a Wikipedia article.
This is
Continue.
This is all important.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
They have a coitus.
Like, it's really fucking explicit
Okay.
and graphic.
Okay.
And, like, wordy.
Okay.
And, like, really just fucking descriptive. And then, like, it ends on, like, the line... It ends. It ends on this line of dialogue. It doesn't continue afterward. You don't see what happens. There's no afterglow. It's Lucius Malfoy screaming, "Come, Dobby." And the fanfiction just ends. They wrote a graphic fanfiction about fucking a 1.5 tall person for one pun. And I respect them more than any other writer on this world for putting themselves through that.
I think what you're saying is that you want people to go read your Lucius Malfoy Dobby fanfiction, and you were really excited about it and had to tell people.
I could not write. J.K. Rowling could not write that.
It's why she didn't, Brad.
I meant to say Charles Dickens, and my head was saying Forrest Whitaker couldn't write that. That's not right at all.
Who the fuck is Forrest Whitaker?
He was
Saul Guerrero.
Yeah, he was crazy and raspy voice in Rogue One. He's also a bunch of other things.
The one who sentenced them to the oogly googly googly.
Oh God! Don't even.
He plays crazy people a
The
lot.
googly group.
No, Forrest Whitaker plays crazy people a lot. It's weird.
He's a good actor.
He has a crazy name. His name sounds like a crazy person.
But yeah, that was God. That was such a fucking good fanfiction. Horrible to read till the very end, and made the payoff was incredible.
I would talk about the fanfiction that I've read, but I've only read fanfiction that I'm embarrassed to tell people about.
Because you actually care about yours.
I do.
I like reading bad fanfiction.
You buy books that I would call fan fiction.
You need to shut your fucking mouth, okay? If you guys have never read a Chuck Tingle erotic gay novel, then you guys are fucking missing the fuck out. I bought one called 7 Scary Stories to Tingle Your Butt, and it was the greatest goddamn purchase.
It's pretty good.
It was like $8 of pure goodness. There is obviously one editor who didn't edit.
Yeah.
So he goes
everything's
through...
misspelled.
And he misspells names, he misspells places, the fucking punctuation's wrong, the paragraphs are out of line, and it's not often, but it's like, it's well written enough that you know that the guy who's writing it knows how to write, but it's so, it's also unedited enough and consistently unedited enough to know that he also doesn't care about this, which makes it even better that he's writing theirs. There is a story about a vampire night bus, which is a night bus that is also a vampire. So it's a double-decker night bus in maybe London, that is gay and a vampire, and a guy gets on it and has a sweet fuck with the night bus. I hate reading the actual, like, sex scenes because it's like, I was sitting on a seat and there was a penis, it was coming out of a window, he had abs. I'm like, the idea of this in my head is really scary because you could just do so much with it. He gives you a world and your mind plays in it.
And the thing with Chuck Tingle, you read his stuff, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Exactly what he's
fully aware of what he's writing.
Amazing! Yeah. He's amazing!
And that's why it's funny, because, like, he knows how much of a joke it is.
And, like...
So he just goes, like, all out.
And what fucking blows my mind is it's like this, like, Dune-esque world immersion where he starts fucking talking about weird political shit out of nowhere. He's like, oh, there's a Yeti president now, and they're fucking getting rights, and it's a really good thing, and I'm like, this is... I just... Fuck the bus! Like, stop it! And at the end of that story, he becomes a vampire night bus. Period.
You're right. That wasn't fanfiction.
It was a masterpiece, and I love everything Chuck Tingle.
I wonder if Chuck Tingle wrote that "Come Dobby" thing.
Probably not, Brad.
Like, I want to.
His art is slightly more sophisticated.
Are you sure about that?
It's not pun based.
I've read Chuck Tingle to you before.
Oh, and it was amazing.
And over the phone.
Oh, it was over. We were sitting next to the fireplace, swirling our glasses of wine, reading really beautiful. I was reading fucking poetry, and you were reading Chuck Tingle erotic novels, and we were book clubbing. It was great.
Yeah, it was fucking awful. It wasn't fantastic.
No, that was bad.
Cool.
So that has been a dab of salt. I hope you guys have a nice day. Final closing thoughts.
Eat your teeth.
Have a good day, guys.
Our whole lives are a sin, that's the headspace we're in. It's a dab of salt.